meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Please stand for the pledge to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call: Jonathan Berger.
Here.
Michelle Kaiser. Here. David Clifford.
Here.
Michael Hemsworth.
Here.
Tricia Kaminsky. Here. Ian Mahoney.
Here.
Aaron Novak.
Here.
Thank you. And the exits are two to the right and over there. I will now ask all of you to read aloud together the oath of allegiance that you have in front of you for board trustee.
I do solemnly affirm and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of board trustee of the Board of Education of the Greater Lake Union Free School District according to the best of my ability. Can we sign these, or?
You sign them and then I'll just Now, I will be taking nominations from the floor for President of the Board of Education. Do I have a motion for anyone? Mike? John? Peter seconds it. Are there any other nominations for President? Okay, nominations are closed. May I have a vote? All in favor? Yes, of course. 7-0. Okay, thank you very much. John Berger, President.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Great, amazing. Okay, so now I would like to nominate somebody for Vice President of the Green Lake Union Free School District School Board. Michelle Kaiser. Anybody else? Nominations? I nominate Michelle Kaiser. I second Michelle Kaiser. Anybody else? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Okay.
Oh, I forgot this part. They're supposed to be doing it.
Okay.
And then,
Even though we just did this before, it's the same thing.
this is
Okay.
President.
I do solemnly affirm and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of President of the Board of Education of the Green Lake Union Free School District according to the best of my ability.
I do solemnly affirm and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Vice President of the Board of Education of the Green Lake Union Free School District according to the best of my ability.
Can't hear you too good, babe.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Sorry.
Thanks,
Do you need me
Pam.
to say it again, or am I good?
You're good.
Okay, now I'd like to administer the oath of office to the district clerk and superintendents of schools.
I do solemnly affirm and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of District Clerk to the Board of Education of the Green Lake Union Free School District according to the best of my ability.
Thanks, Mary.
I do solemnly affirm and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Superintendent of Schools of the Greenwood Lake Union Free School District according to the best of my ability.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay. Okay, so now we're moving along here. So, do I have to actually go through this and appoint everybody? Or, I mean, we've all agreed to stay on the same committees that we were on last year.
So we would do an audit committee,
Um,
Michelle.
So audit committee should be Michelle, myself, and Dave. And then for appointment of board members to facilities committee, It's Aaron Novak and myself. Appointment of board members to Budget Committee. It's Aaron, Ian, and myself. Appointment of board members to the Policy Committee. I'm going to hand this over to Michelle because I'm not sure. Okay.
Dave, Mike,
Me.
Okay. Appointment of board member liaisons to Chester is going to stay Ian, and Patty, will you keep Warwick?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. And then appointment of board member to Oxqua. Mike, you'll stay. Appointment of board members as NISBA annual meeting voting delegate and alternative. Michelle, you'll stay.
Who's the alternate?
Mike,
You're the alternate?
Appointment of board members as NISBA legislation liaison and an alternate. Is that Mike and Michelle as well? But Michelle, you should take the lead. And you're all, okay. Okay, perfect. So now the next agenda item is 5.0. Now this has a lot of different appointments, but we actually, hopefully everybody had time to review these prior to the meeting because I don't actually read all of them. So if anybody has any questions prior to voting on this or after some of the motions, I guess go from there. So all the consent agenda items, can I please get a motion to approve all of them? Mike? Michelle? Is there any discussion on any? I believe there was like 64 or 65 items. No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Okay. They don't close it? Okay. Okay, so the time is 6:09, and this is for the July 15th Board of Education business meeting. So the Board of Education, after review, approves the agenda as presented and or amended. Aaron, Mike, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 3.1, may I please get a motion to adjourn to executive session for medical leave, financial credit, or employment history of any particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of any particular person or corporation. Mike, Patty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. So we will be returning after executive session. I just don't know how long it's going to be. So we're going in at 6:10. To approve the start back up of the business meeting at 7:40 p.m. Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, and sorry about that, but there was a lot of important things that we had to discuss. Okay, subject 4.11. May I please get a motion to accept the minutes of the June 11th business meeting as presented? Mike, Patty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 6.1, statements and presentations. I will hand over to Superintendent Hammond.
Thank you. Good evening. For a monthly update this month, it is summer, so just a couple of things happening in district. Our summer 2024 committees have gone ahead and started. We have a summer literacy initiative where we're reviewing literacy both within and across grade levels. We're doing a response to intervention committee on the process of going from response to intervention to being referred to special education. The data team that has been in effect for the last couple of years and really took off this past year will be meeting, and that has representatives from both buildings. The kindergarten through fifth grade report card committee, they actually met today and are reviewing the report card and looking at the standards. Academic and attendance eligibility for grades 6 through 8 and grading, reviewing that policy. It was enacted 2 years ago. We did a review last year and they are doing another review this year. The wellness committee, which is a state mandated plan that we have to have in place, they met last week. There's the actually down here. Met with Amy Petrozzi leading the committee, and they worked on wellness across the district and the plan and all of that entails. We are working on grading systems alignment in grades 6 through 8, deciding what percentages things should be, how to grade students, and how to help students be successful. The pre-K teacher will be meeting with the instructional coach about assessments, and particularly because we don't have a pre-K report card right now. So what does that look like for pre-K? And we don't necessarily think that a full report card is necessary, but what does their reporting system look like and how do they communicate to parents? And then a year-long initiative that is going to start this summer is about the least restrictive environment, and we are going to be doing some professional development on co-teaching between the regular education and special education teachers. So that'll start with a full-day staff development this summer, and then there will be sessions over the course of the school year. That is paying for, all of these things are getting paid for through a variety of resources, most of them through our grants, or title grants, or our special ed grant, and then a few of them are getting paid out of budget, but the majority is being paid out of grant money. We also have several summer projects going on. The door frames at the elementary school are getting painted. The middle school in the original wing, they have window replacement. So if you go there now, we do have the new windows in, and they're in the middle, putting the saddles in. We are replacing the benches in the front of the middle school. We will be sealing and coating and striping, seal coating and striping the parking lots at both buildings. The ducts in the middle school gym will be getting cleaned out. Both stage curtains will be taken down and sent out for cleaning. And then we have new interactive whiteboard installations for all classrooms. So another busy summer. Although no huge construction projects, a lot of little projects going on. Looking ahead at the 24-25 school year, we do a study of enrollment every year and the number of students in each grade level. And we use that, and we also look at what the desirable class size is for each of those grade levels. We have set our desirable class sizes at 18 students in kindergarten through 2nd grade, at 20 students in 3rd through 5th grade, and at 22 students in 6th through 8th grade. So what we do to figure out how many teachers each grade level should get, we do some very easy math, and you divide the number of students by the desirable class size, and we'll spit out a mathematical number to you. And that tells you about how many students should be in each grade level. Then we also look at additional staff that we have, certified staff in that area, and we make decisions about where to put extra teachers. So for this upcoming school year, we've made the decision to move forward with an extra teacher in 6th grade, and that is because 6th grade is a middle school grade, and we want to make sure that our students have a true experience of rotating teachers for every class. They really need that to make sure that they are well prepared for 7th grade and the constant switching of classes every period. And then due to needs of the upcoming 5th grade group, we have made the decision to add a 3rd classroom to 5th grade. 7th grade is a smaller group as well. They are going to be in 2 classes for some subjects and 3 classes for other subjects. The classes that there's 3 subjects in will be the 2 Regents courses. Warwick Police Department is holding a national night out on August 6th from 5 to 8 p.m. I received a letter from the Warwick Police Department asking if we wanted to participate. One of the options for participation was they are going to have a touch-a-truck area. So we are going to send one of our school buses over and one of our school bus drivers over, and then kids will be able to go on the school bus, see what it's like to be on a school bus, etc. So I'm looking forward to attending that night and being a part of that evening and having the district be a formal part of that evening as well. So this part of the presentation is on the district organization. We've had a lot of shifts over the past year with administrators, and so I've done a lot of reflection and have a presentation for you this evening on some issues and concerns and thoughts shared from various stakeholders over the last few years, some things that we've faced, and then some suggested possibilities for change. So this is our current organizational chart. It has been this way for many years with having a superintendent of schools. And then when you look at the instructional portion of the chart, you have 2 building principals, a director of curriculum instruction, and a director of pupil personnel services. You will note that on the instructional chart, they are all right even with each other, and that's because no one position is higher than any of the others. There's no tiered support or level of administration. So they are all seen as equals, even though they have different roles and responsibilities, and some are at building level and some at district level. So this is a zoom in of what that looks like. And then, of course, all faculty can report to any of those administrators. So all of those administrators work together. So we have had feedback from stakeholders over time about that structure, and it absolutely has its benefits, but there have been some concerns about it laid out to us repeatedly over the years, and so I just wanted to share some of that feedback publicly. And again, this comes from teachers, it comes from staff members, it comes from parents, it comes from students, and it also comes from the administrators themselves and the struggles that they have. So one of the things that we have faced is an increase in student needs and student discipline, particularly since the pandemic, that there's been a significant increase in frequency and intensity, and they are taking up a whole lot of time from the principals. And it causes disruptions not only in the classroom, but also in the school itself. An example of where it would disrupt the principal's day is if the principal's in a meeting with a grade level of teachers. Let's say the principal's meeting with grade 7 teachers about something, and a student misbehaves and gets sent to the office. The principal then has to leave that meeting, go address the student, and then he's not meeting and having conversations with the teachers. So kind of all work has to stop when a student is sent to the office. In addition, teachers have been speaking about the frequency and intensity of student behaviors and asking for more help administratively with addressing those behaviors. Secondly, we have had a lot of administrative turnover. We are, of those positions here, 3 of those 4 are moving on just in the last 1 year period. So one, as we know, Diane Connolly is retiring, and that's one reason to leave. But the other 2, Lena Polchinski, whose resignation is on tonight's agenda, and Jared Kamar, who was principal of the middle school, both moved on for an advancement opportunity. They wanted to do something different and move up and beyond into other school districts. And that's just something we don't have available here, again, because everyone is at the same administrative level. Stability for staff and students. So when an administrator leaves, it is really difficult on the staff and on the students because there's different expectations, particularly with principals There's different expectations, different personalities. What was acceptable by one person might not be acceptable by someone else. There are procedures to follow. I'll give an example where I was discussing a discipline issue, and I looked down and was looking at the referral, and I said, this isn't our current referral form. And it had gotten kind of lost in the cracks. And so we really want to find a way to build more consistency so that if someone leaves, there's someone there that knows the history and can help fill in the gaps. In addition, the teachers are asking for additional opportunities for advancement. We did add the TOSA instructional coach this year, and even though that is a teacher position and it's not an increase in pay, it's still on the teacher scale. It is a position that has a level of respect with it. And so regular education teachers do have a pathway for leadership development now. Since creating that position, we've had several teachers come to us as administrators and say, how could I be that position that day? What should I do if I would like to be the TOSA someday? And so we're having those conversations with teachers, and And that's a conversation that's never been had before, because if they want to do something different, they either had to apply directly for administrator, or again, go to another district where they had instructional coaches. And so, again, we have an instructional coach for regular education now. We don't currently have a pathway for special education staff members. Then, and just in terms of the sheer level of building responsibilities, principals have an incredible amount of work on their plate, and they've been asking for help for several years now. Again, that example that I gave before of trying to meet with teachers, but also having to handle student discipline. And so they've been asking for an assistant principal or an administrator specifically in place to support principals. And then teachers have been asking to feel a more part of the decision-making process. We do have them on committees in the summer, we have them on some committees after school, we meet with them in grade level teams, and we have the data team and grade level meetings and PLCs, but it's still not somewhat one of them that's kind of available all day, every day to be a part of ongoing and longer conversations. So we have been thinking about how do we lift teacher voices even more. So why is growth important in a school district? So, well, really in any organization, but why is it important that people feel that they have a place that they can go and rise to the next level? So it fosters a culture of continuous learning. It prepares people for new roles and responsibilities. For example, the TOSA role would be an excellent guide into them becoming an assistant principal. It does address the leadership gap. It does also increase retention, right? If we had a person in an assistant principal position and we had an opening as principal, you now have an opportunity for advancement. It boosts engagement, motivation, it improves decision-making abilities. It does attract talent because people now see that they can come here and there's an opportunity here to advance within the district. And there are people looking to come find a home, but they also do want to continue learning and advance themselves. So it does attract better talent and does reduce hiring costs overall. So every time we have someone leave, it's not just the hiring process itself, but it's training that person. It's getting them caught up on our initiatives and our different things that we do in school and in our school. It's mentoring them. There's a lot of time and energy and effort that gets them caught up. And then when they leave in a couple of years, then we start all over again. So that is why it is really important that we have opportunities for growth within a district. As such, I am considering and would like for you all to consider some possible restructuring shifts and looking at our organizational chart. And by doing some of these things, I'm hoping to address some of those concerns that have been shared by stakeholders over time. So what I would like to potentially do is eliminate the Director of Curriculum Instruction position. I would like to eliminate the Director of Pupil Personnel Services position. I would like to keep the TOSA Instructional Coach position, and I would like to add a TOSA CPSE CSE Chair position that would be over special education. I would like to create an assistant superintendent position and create an assistant principal position. By doing this, we would reduce the administrative budget by about $15,000 to $20,000. What would these people do and what would this look like? So an assistant superintendent would be able to supervise, evaluate, and support the principals, the instructional coach, and the CSE chair. They'd be a leader of strategic vision, assessments, professional development, and really help roll out the initiatives in the school buildings, anything related to academics, both special and regular education. They would oversee the budget, they would work on grants and spending plans, they would ensure that we were in compliance with all the state mandates for regular ed, special ed, and English language learners, and all other mandates. They would be responsible for reporting, both reports for the state, but also reports for the Board of Education, for me if I want to see something. And then they would also be able to advise me on matters related to their role, their work, and they can fill in the superintendent's absence. What would an assistant principal do? So an assistant principal would assist with discipline, particularly at the middle school, which is where we're having more disciplinary issues right now. They would fill in for both principals whenever they are out. Right now, that's having to be filled by the director positions, which means their work stops for the day and they have to fill in at the building level. This would be someone whose job responsibility would be to fill in for the principals when they're out. It would allow for some more consistency. So if a principal leaves, now there's another administrator that's been in the building that knows the routines, that knows the teachers, that knows the expectations, that knows the kids, that knows the families. Be a much easier transition. They would be able to monitor student performance data and coordinate testing throughout the year. They'd be able to conduct evaluations of teachers at the elementary school as the independent evaluator, and that's a part of the APPR process that needs to take place. And then it would be awesome that we have an internal candidate for a principal position, and that's something we've never really had before in terms of a sitting administrator that you would want to look for when hiring a principal. Because this position would be very new and would need to be developed, I would ask that the assistant superintendent work very closely with the assistant principal in the first few months, particularly and over the course of the first year, to develop what that position looks like, how that time is spent, etc. So this is kind of what it would look like. It would be shifted just a little bit, but this would be the proposed new academic administrator structure. So again, there would be an assistant superintendent of curriculum instruction and pupil personnel services. You would have the 2 TOSAs with the instructional coach and the CSE chair. You would have the 2 building principals. You'd also be adding an assistant principal, and then you'd have all the faculty and staff. And anything that is underneath reports to the people above if there are lines, right? So these lines show that these administrators oversee these people, right? But like the regular ed faculty don't oversee the support staff. There's no line directly connecting those two. It's just a list. So at this time, I'd be looking for board feedback on this proposal. Obviously, this is not something that we would vote on tonight, but I would like your feedback because if we can do this, I would love to be able to move on this and be thinking about who would be moving into these positions. So that's where we are, and I would love your feedback. And any questions that you have.
So basically, it's just, we're not really adding admins, we're just eliminating admin positions, just names, and just calling them something else. And obviously, we have 2 admins that are leaving, so we do have to hire people, but the number of admins is not changing, we're just adding them. For the TOSA, we're adding another teacher.
Right, so there are 5 current academic administrators right now. There would still be 5, but instead of, 4. There's 4 academic administrators right now, all at the same level. Instead of 4, there would still be 4, but now there's going to be 4 spread among 3 levels. So that's where it creates that opportunity for advancement. It is not adding an administrator at all. It's just it's rethinking and shifting where that work is happening. And then so the CSE chair, if that came from within, that's what we'd be looking to do, right? We're looking for consistency. We're looking to advance our own staff and give opportunities for advancement. So if we hire that from within, when you hire someone from the special ed department, those are for the most part, mandated positions. So we would need to backfill that. So by creating this TOSA CSE chair, special ed chair, you would need, if whoever got that position would need to be backfilled.
And then I'm guessing, since we're getting rid of the curriculum, director of curriculum, the assistant superintendent would take over that responsibility with assistance from the principal.
With assistance, yes. So in terms of administration, it would be an assistant superintendent for curriculum, instruction, and pupil personnel services. The principals would also be in trade, so that's the big picture. Execution at the school building level is by the principals, and then the 2 TOSAs are there to support as well.
Basically, we're just restructuring the admin levels.
It's restructuring.
The admins numbers are staying the same. We're just going to restructure and have different levels.
And it will save the administrative portion of the budget, about $15,000 to $20,000. So what we're spending on administrators right now would be reduced by about $15,000 to
So the
$20,000.
curriculum structure and the personnel is kind of forming together. It's not completely, because then you have, obviously, you have to move TOSA for the special ed, so they can handle that part of the special ed. And, okay. Right, am I correct with that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm assuming we're talking a lot about discipline, right? They're coming up.
Yeah.
So do you feel that the assistant principal's job, or the discipline would be the primary role of
The
that?
primary role of the assistant principal would be to assist with the discipline. And if we can get that fixed, and get proper procedures and processes in place and consistency, and kids are held accountable and forced to do work, then yes.
Yeah, I mean, we have to hire the positions anyway, so, I mean, I think if you have different levels within the admin team, since we have to backfill those positions anyway, we might as well put some type of level in there, so there is growth within our district, instead of having everybody leave going to different, I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I
Instead of leaving, we go to different districts.
It gives an opportunity, a pathway for improvement, not improvement, but advancement.
Advancement,
You
right.
have an opportunity.
Within the
to grow.
district, right?
Within the district, which is
Instead of leaving,
beneficial.
like,
That's why we're keeping on it, people, we're holding on to our good people, not losing them. And they're having an opportunity to grow with their profession, so, yeah, it makes sense.
I like the idea.
Yeah. I like it.
All right, so I will work on this. We would need to have probably another board meeting between now and the August meeting. I do think it's important too that we share this idea with the staff and with the community as well, just so that we are transparent with everybody. So I would do that this week, and then hope to have another board meeting soon to eliminate the positions, add the positions, do some appointments possibly, et cetera. And we can advertise or think about things and do them as anticipated. We did have excellent candidates in the elementary principal process. So we might, go back to that pool, look at internal candidates, so. All right. All right, so I will be back in touch with you all, but like I said, I will get some information out to the community and to staff about this possibility. All right. That is my presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving along, district liaisons, Chester?
Nothing new. I know graduation at April 9th, and of course I'm sure they're all preparing for the school.
Warwick?
Yeah, nothing new other than graduation was June 29th. Superintendent Haddon, John, and myself were there. It was a beautiful ceremony, so I just wanted to say thank Warwick School District for putting on such a nice graduation ceremony. I know for me and John it was really special because we did get to give both of our kids their diplomas, so it was a very special day for both of us. And good luck to all the graduates. Wish you the best in the future.
Okay, thank you, Patty. NISBA?
So we are starting resolutions for 2025. NISBA did ask for board members to advocate to push back the electrical bus requirement, even though we did ask for the bill to be repealed. So I would like to reach out to the community, if you can contact the senators, the governor, and really ask them kind of to repeal this bill, because it's just not feasible and it's really going to cut into our budget big time.
Okay, thank you. Oxma, Mike?
Nothing to report.
Nothing? I think Sarah touched on facilities. I don't think there's anything else going on right now. I think our next facility is going in August, so. Audit, nothing, right? Budget, nothing was approved. Policy committee, I know that's on part of the agenda to approve the policies already. PTSA, anybody have anything? No? Village of Greenwood Lake, I did receive a text message from our new liaison, is Chad Sellier, and he said he would like to try and attend the school board meetings in the future. He did want me to let everybody know that the Greenwood Lake Village Board meetings are held the third Wednesday, beginning at 6 p.m. in the courthouse. The general meetings will still be shown via the village Facebook page and YouTube pages. They're going to combine the zoning board of appeals and planning board meetings. The first meeting of the combined boards was held in June, and the meeting was scheduled for the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. I'm sure if you live in the village, everybody is aware that they did the hydrant flushing. I know there was a lot of complaints about that, with everybody having brown water, but that's done. It should have been finished today. The Village of Greenwood Lake is offering a swimming program. The first session started July 8th and ends July 17th. The second session starts July 22nd and ends July 31st. The summer concert series is ongoing, and it's running from July 6th through August 31st. And the music lineup can be found on the Village of Greenwood Lake website, and it's free admission. And hopefully Chad comes to the next meeting, so I don't have to read all this.
And this comes after the next meeting, but it is very soon after the next meeting. The Village Family Fun Day is the weekend of the 16th and 17th, I believe, and the parade is happening that Saturday. We will be participating in the parade. We have a float. Actually, it's sitting on stage, getting ready to go. So we are doing a theme of an old times house. And so we'll have staff members kind of on there as students and the teacher and things. And we may also have a bus, but we'll need to be later on the side and have some bus drivers and transportation. So we're really making an effort to make sure all other departments feel a part of all the things that we do now. And so this is one of those efforts as well. So if you go to the parade, you will see us there.
Thank you. Public statements and petitions. Privilege of the floor. Before we start, I just need to read a statement, please. My wonderful statement that you guys love so much. Public comment at meetings. Public expression at meetings shall be encouraged, and the following guidelines are intended to promote an orderly procedure for public comment participation. The public will be given the opportunity to address the board regarding items of interest and concern during the privilege of the floor section of each monthly regular business meeting. Anyone wishing to be heard must sign in on the public comment form prior to the start of the business meeting or before speaking. Speakers will be asked to state their name before addressing their question or statement to the board. Speakers may be limited to 3 minutes each in their comments or questions. Speakers are to have the right to speak without interruption and are to address the president of the board. And I know it says questions on here, but as everybody's aware, if you ask a question, we're not going to answer it tonight. We'll take the question down, and then we'll address it, and most likely you'll receive an answer from Mary. Comments regarding specific personnel will be ruled out of order and referred to the superintendent. Speakers will not be recognized for a second time until all who wish to speak have been given an opportunity. The board may suspend privilege of the floor if it is determined that continued discussion on a particular topic will prevent the board from completing its scheduled business, or if one of the above guidelines are not adhered to and continued participation is deemed to be disruptive. Thank you. Ms. Tremarky.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Deanna Tremarky, and I'm a teacher at the elementary school. At the last meeting that we had in June, there were several members of the GLTA that spoke about some of our concerns. And we are just really wondering when we can hear a response back from our concerns. We haven't heard anything. We had some questions and concerns, and no one's answered us. So that's really what I'm addressing tonight. And if you could also, either if you want to email us, those that spoke up, you can email us, call us. My number's here, my email is here. And if you could also include in that, I know you're not answering questions tonight, but if you could answer the question in regards to Mrs. Haddon's chart that was up there about the 5th grade. Are there 3 sections now of 5th grade? I know there were 2 grades that were highlighted in yellow, and I was wondering what that means.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that was your big question last time you were here, and I will answer that question. That's why we were in executive for so long. So as you saw what Ms. Haddon presented, there will be 3 classrooms for the 5th grade. And I just want everybody to be aware that it's just a one-time discussion that we had just for this year for the 5th grade. If this discussion comes up again, it's going to be another board discussion in the future. But
What does that mean?
you do have 3 classes this year in 5th grade. That's what that means.
Okay, and can someone still reach out to the other members that had questions? There were 4 of us that spoke with some concerns, if maybe that could be a little more directed to those.
Yeah, if you can, I didn't
It
take
was,
notes, so if you guys could just submit those to the Board of Education email address, we're all copied, and then we'll make sure you receive a response. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Lori Sanford, in the elementary school as well. Before I say what I want to ask, I just want to follow up with what you just said. The 3 classrooms, does that include, that's 3 homeroom classes, or does that include the new course support as the 3rd?
Can I answer that? Like I just stated, it is 3 classrooms.
Sections.
Okay?
Okay.
You'll have
Thank
3
you for
teachers and 3 sections.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I wasn't sure. In regards to Superintendent Haddon's proposal and her charts and all that, we were just a little confused about a couple of things. We're in a district now where the enrollment is going down. We have 2 buildings, no high school. So we're just a little concerned and not sure why we need all of these administrative positions with, around 500, between 500 and 600, I think, students in our district. It seems excessive to have so many administrative positions for such a small group of students. And I understand that our curriculum director left, but we were thinking that maybe that position would be, spread about between the other administrators. Like that happens with teachers all the time. Things are cut out to save money that way. So that was one of our concerns. I understand you're saying it's going to save money, but these people that are moving up are going to want higher salaries, as they should. So I'm just concerned that are we really saving money with that? And also the assistant principal. How is that hiring from within if you're talking about going from the pool of the candidates that were just looked at for elementary? If the point of this is to go from within, then I would think that we wouldn't be looking outside to fill those positions, because I'm sure there are people within that are qualified. So those are just some of my questions. I know you can't answer, but just some of the things that we're concerned about after listening.
Okay, thank you.
There was a sign. Oh, you took the sign? Is that in your thing?
Anybody else before we move along? No? Thank you very much for your questions, and we will review them. I know we're going to put together a presentation for the community, which Sarah discussed, so that'll go out, and all the information will be in that almost positive. Okay, subject 8.1. Financial reports and warrants. May I please get a motion to approve the financial reports for June 2024 as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.2, approve transfer to special aid fund. May I please get a motion to approve the special aid fund transfer as presented? Aaron? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.3, may I please get a motion to approve a release and settlement agreement as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.4, may I please get a motion to approve Omni U.S. Employee Benefit Services Agreement reinstatement as presented? I think I need new readers. Aaron, Dave, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.5, may I please get a motion to approve the health services contract with Pine Bluff Central School District as presented? Mike? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.6, may I please get a motion to approve the agreement with Dr. Charles Coletti for home instruction liaison services as presented? Michelle? Mike? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.7, may I please get a motion to accept the donation from the PTSA as presented? Aaron? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you again for all your generous donations throughout the school year. Subject 8.8, may I please get a motion to approve the superintendent to assign a current employee to fill a temporary vacancy in another unit if needed and approve rate of pay as presented? Mike? Patty? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.9, may I please get a motion to extend the temporary full-time cook manager position as presented? Aaron? Michelle? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 8.10, may I please get a motion to approve the substitute rates as presented in the public file attachment? Mike? Dave? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.1, may I please get a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Lena Volchinsky as presented? Mike? Ian? Ian's happy, I think. Any discussion? I would just like to thank Lena for her years of service. Good luck with your new position in your new school district, and thank you. Enjoy the rest of your summer. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.2, may I please get a motion to accept with regret the resignation of Melissa Kuzo as presented? Aaron? Dave? Any discussion? Thank you as well to Melissa for all your years of service, and good luck with whatever you do moving forward. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.3, may I please get a motion to appoint Michelle Ring as elementary school building principal as presented? Aaron? Ian? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Welcome to the district. We look forward to working with you and kicking off the new school year. Subject 9.4, may I please get a motion to appoint Lauren Graff as part-time speech therapist as presented? Mike? Patty? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.5, may I please get a motion to appoint Teresa Finn as registrar as presented? Aaron, Dave, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. You're stuck with us another year. Subject 9.6, may I please get a motion to appoint Mary DePietro as district clerk as presented? Dave, Aaron, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Got another year together. Subject 9.7, may I please get a motion to appoint Michael Gillespie as athletic director as presented? Aaron, Patty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.8, may I please get a motion to appoint Daniel Martin as claims auditor as presented? Mike, Dave, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.9, may I please get a motion to appoint Christopher Ferry as website administrator as presented? Ian, Aaron, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.10, may I please get a motion to appoint Michael Lopresti as data protection officer as presented? Nobody? That's weird. Mike? Patty? Thanks, Mike. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.11, may I please get a motion to appoint Victor Pignataro as technology aide as presented? Mike, Patty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.12, may I please get a motion to appoint Eileen Cristiano as substitute caller as presented? Mike, Patty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.13, may I please get a motion to appoint Jose Morales as substitute school mail courier as presented? Ian, Dave, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.14, may I please get a motion to appoint the following staff members for summer work and summer committees as presented? Mike, Michelle, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.15, may I please get a motion to appoint the following teachers and teaching assistants for the summer enrichment programs as presented? Dave, Mike, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.16, may I please get a motion to extend the unpaid leave of absence of food service helper Samantha Tushler as presented? Mike, Michelle, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.17, may I please get a motion to extend the appointment of Samantha Tushler as temporary cook manager as presented? Mike, Michelle, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.18, may I please get a motion to approve the food service accounting and finance work stipend for Scott Sullivan as presented? Aaron, Ian, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 9.19, may I please get a motion to approve a food service director function stipend for Samantha Tushler as presented? Dave, Aaron, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 10.1, may I please get a motion to accept the entire consent agenda according to the recommended action? And this is for all the asterisk subjects after this, so just so everybody's aware, it's multiple, it's 3. Patty, Mike, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Subject 12.1, may I please get a motion to accept the CPSE, CSE recommendations as presented? Mike, Michelle, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 7-0. May I please get a motion to approve going into executive session? Motion to executive session. Dave, Mike, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Passes 7-0. And just so everybody is aware, no action will be taken after this executive session, so the Board of Ed meeting is basically over. The next Board of Education meeting will be held August 12th at 6 p.m. in the middle school cafeteria. And I'd like a motion to adjourn the meeting. All right, do that. Michelle, do that after the exam.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you for attending. Thanks, Mike.